Okay, listen, Mac. Like, like striking people and everything like that. So, but it might have been before we had our interview. So that's why I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt on this one, brother. But you did a manual takedown of a video from a friend of mine, Thirst for Truth. I know you guys have a history. I get it and all of that stuff. But come on, man, you have to understand. But I'm gonna forgive it. Don't worry about it. But I do want to touch on a little offer I want to make to you, and I want you to think about it. Don't answer tonight, okay? But still, I do have to mention it. Like you took a manual takedown copyright on a little joke video he did of about 4 or 5 minutes, man. You know that that's not cool. You're on mute.
Well, that's your opinion, I mean, I felt it necessary to take it down. Like, we have a difference of opinion. What you believe is not right, and maybe what I did is not right, but it's a difference of opinion on what he did with the content. And it was an 11, 12, maybe 13-minute video. He had Brian making fun of Brian Stavely for the first 2 or 3 minutes. And then he showed my meltdown at the Flatoberfest, the meetup, and then he'd cut in, and there'd be a big mound of cocaine with a playing card and the red six of hearts or something. It was bad taste. I don't know the guy. Why the hell should I give him the right to take my video and put it on his channel when he didn't do any commentary or anything? All he did was do it to make fun of us, so he can go fuck himself.
Okay, but I mean, at the same time, like, just to give you an example, like Brian, for example, doesn't he make fun of people like Dean Odell and start calling them names even? He shows their...
Yeah, okay, that's fine. He does a commentary. He gives his opinion. That coward Thirst for Truth doesn't say anything, takes my video, the entirety, takes all the clips. He doesn't say anything, and he adds a few slides in there that are in bad taste. No, he could go fuck himself. Okay. That wasn't any commentary. That wasn't any joke. That was hateful. He's a fucking loser for doing that. If he wants, if he wants to actually make content, and like you, okay, I don't agree with what you do. Whatever. You could talk to me like a man, human to human, right? Man to man, and that's cool. I don't agree with what you do. So, I mean, but that's my opinion. I don't have to agree with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My point is, or anybody else, we don't have to agree with anyone else. There's tens of millions of channels on the internet, YouTube channels. We watch the ones we gravitate towards. I just don't get this fascination with watching channels that you don't like, hating them, and then doing hate pieces on them. So Thirst for Truth, I don't know who he is. He used to be in my chat. He's all butthurt, about Mandela effect, and then he becomes hateful. So that's not a man. That's a fucking child who can't keep his emotions together. Then he goes making hit pieces and joins whatever group he can that'll take him in, so he can hate on Mandela effect. Okay. Show your face, make some commentary. That's fine. But you don't just take somebody's video and play it and do, whatever. It was in bad taste.
Okay.
It wasn't I don't know the guy. How can it be a joke? It was hateful. It was purely intended to be hateful.
All right. Well, I think it was a bit funny there, but listen, we're going to disagree. I still think, and many will think, that it probably wasn't a cool move because, I mean, you're using YouTube, the enemy, to shut up someone else, but I get it. Maybe it hurt you. Maybe it was a quick move. I understand that. But let me tell you about Thirst for Truth a little bit. Because there's something you don't know about him.
Sure, go ahead. Okay. Tell him to make his own original comment, first of all. Pass that message, or if he listens back to this, tell him to make his own original creative content, or himself speaking. But go on, tell me about him.
Okay. Thirst for Truth was one of the first guys that loved Brian Stavely. For at least a year, he was one of Brian Stavely's moderators. He was a guy because Brian was talking more about the flat earth, the 9/11 thing. And Thirst for Truth was one of the best, most vocal, and best moderators that Brian had. To the point, Mac, that he actually invited Thirst for Truth to have an awakening. So one of Brian Stavely's own awakenings, the interviews, was with Thirst for Truth. And they spoke for like 4 hours. They agreed on everything from start to finish. Brian Stavely showered him with all kinds of compliments, the whole thing. And then the only thing in the interview was when Thirst for Truth told him, listen, I can't get on board with the Mandela. I know this is going to get some people, and everybody loved him. Even Carla Fat Pill, all the people, they all loved him. Hey, by the way, Mac, like just a quick, do you like the Carla Fat Pill thing or it's bad?
Well, it's what you think. It's fine. I mean, Carla, I like Carla. She's a friend of mine. You want to call her Carla Fat Pill? That's your prerogative. We're talking about like being judged, and everybody says, "Oh, I do this or whatever I do, and I'm going to get judged." It's up to you. You think God's going to let that slide? Then keep saying it, right?
It's
I
your
know.
own
I'm very
integrity.
like me. I don't know if you heard there, Mac. I've already been to see God. I didn't personally see him, but I think he said somebody, and he said, "Listen, Tony, it's not your time. I got to give you a little job, and now go back." They told me no. They wouldn't let me get into heaven, Mac. So I had to come back, and now I have a mission. I don't know how long I have, but he gave me a second chance. So just in case you didn't know about my relationship with God.
No, that's fine. I mean, she's a friend of mine, and you want to. It's up to you what you want to. I
Yeah, no
can't. You
problem.
know what? I'm not your dad. I'm not your father. I'm not your creator. I can't make you do anything. You can't make me do anything. All we can do is talk as two men.
Okay. So listen, so for Thirst for Truth, so he ended up doing that. And then after he very politely, and it all ended okay. And even Brian during the interview, he said, that's fine, everything's okay. And then the whole community turned against Thirst for Truth. And again, they agreed. I mean, Thirst for Truth, the flat earth, everything they all agreed on for a year at least. And then they turned on him simply because he disagreed on the Mandela, So I mean, Thirst for Truth is not just somebody who comes out of nowhere, some type of troll or whatever. He was one of Brian Staveley's main people.
Yeah, I remember him always being in the chat when me and Brian started doing streams together, and then he came over. He'd be in my streams as well. I remember he used to be a good guy. Well, just from what I knew of him in the chat and the comments.
Yeah. Big shout out to Tony. It's time to wake up. Thank you, brother. Good looking out. I really appreciate you speaking to Focker on my behalf. That was just good looking out, my friend. Much respect. And Focker, okay. Maybe the video was a little strong. Obviously, to cut you that deep, Focker. Bruh, I wouldn't have done a video like that if I didn't know you were tough enough to take it. You got thick skin. How many hit pieces have been done on you, Focker, over the years? Endless, bruh. With the Globies, with the wannabe truthers, with troll versus trolls. So, I mean, really, no need to get all butthurt, bruh. I apologize if that struck a chord. At first watching it, Mac, it looked like a phony fake show, like so many other little skits the flat earthers do to make them look like a complete ass clown. You know what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, your little fish out of the water episode looked fictitious to me. But after you deleting your video and striking mine, I have came to the conclusion that yes, that was a genuine, no offense, award-winning meltdown. That's what happens when you fucking try to drink when you're not a drinker, okay? You got all waxed up. Made an ass of yourself. Big deal. You still should have left it up. You should still unprivate it, and it might get the most views you've ever had. Just saying. Okay? And as far as your Mandoozled effect goes, bro, honestly now, you know you've been dragged into that reality via Brianna. You know, everybody knows that the Mandela effect of him dying in prison is just that's an alternate effect. 90% of the Mandela effectees, I'm sure, do not remember him dying in prison. And you, Focker, being older than I am, I'm 42. You're pushing 50, okay? Don't give me that shit. I remember, and I was young, teenager, and I remember that headline on every frickin' newsstand, every news agency. It was plastered in school, out of school. I didn't even know who the Nelson Mandela was until he got out of prison. They made a huge deal out of it because allegedly he was wrongfully imprisoned, yada yada. But it was like worldwide news. So I don't know if anybody gave you the memo, but that one doesn't even count, you know. And the other dilemma, I mean, dude, they spell shit differently. Why you remember your silent N? I have no idea how they spell shit in Canada. Maybe they spell it different. Like, you know, check and check. What other? Color and color. I mean, they're spelled differently in different countries. So, find the country that spells dilemma with an N. I mean, it's like, dude, that's your number one. Get out of here. You're faking it until you make it. Knock it off. Quit shilling for the Mandela effect. Tony's right. You're a likable guy. But quit bullshitting. You know you are. Dishonest. That's the only theory that can be looked at without using logic? What the does that even mean? Dude. It's time to come out of the Mandela effect closet and reveal that maybe you were mistaken. All right. Thank you. So yeah, one last thing. Focker all worried about, he should show his face, put some... Well, here you go, fuckhead. There you go. Meme up, bitches. Which I shouldn't have to worry about too much because I know you guys suck at memes. Okay? Seen your work. But you can try. And, but just to warn you, if you do, you will get wrecked in return. So, fair warning. Thank you.
Ha ha ha.